Hello, everyone. Coming at you from Maui and having an absolutely beautiful day so far. I hope you are too. I'm sending you all so much love through the ethers. As usual, I have an amazing guest today. I've been listening to his other podcast interviews for the last couple of days and just like really just falling in love with his presence and his work. So I'm really excited to introduce y'all to him. But first, in case you're new to us, Conscious Conversion is a weekly, well, right now it's not so weekly, it's more like monthly, but we'll be weekly again here soon. We're a weekly podcast about how we bridge the gap between business and spirit, money and meaning, technology and regeneration in a wildly changing world. In a time of so much polarity and uncertainty, this podcast is exploring how together we are connecting across the planet, across our differences, and across dimensions as we build the new earth together. I am Sarah Yamtich. I'm so happy to be here with y'all today. And I am even more delighted to introduce to y'all Andrew Genovese. He is a breathwork facilitator, healer, plant medicine guide. You know, we have tons to talk about, and nutritionist specializing in helping people move towards wholeness with 2-hour dimensional breathwork sessions, incorporating one's own breath and the healing sounds of music. Over the last couple of years, Andrew has been a beacon of light for many to navigate this time of deep purging of all that is not in resonance with the golden age. Andrew also carries great wisdom of many healing modalities, the current situation of ascension on planet Earth today, and how to keep up one's immunity and vitality in all aspects of life, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. This is all like my favorite topics. I have no doubt we're going to have a really beautiful conversation today. Thank you for being here.
It is my pleasure, Sarah. Looking forward to what deep corners we go into today. May source guide the conversation.
Love that. Thank you for the blessing. Yes. So I like to open the portal with this question, which you're welcome to push back on. You can answer any number of ways, however you want, but just like taking a moment, taking a deep breath, closing the eyes. In this incarnation, Andrew, in this moment, this exact moment, in this place, what is your soul's purpose?
Mm. Ooh. I don't know if you've gotten the answer that's going to come out right now.
That's okay. I have people always being like, my purpose is to fully express myself in whatever way I feel like in that moment. So,
So the first thing that is present for me is that as a soul, we could identify that we have a purpose, but a soul actually, I feel, doesn't have a purpose. I feel that the soul's main purpose is literally to grow, which is not anything specific, right? That's very vague. But essentially, as a soul, we come into physical form over and over again to continue to contract and expand, contract and expand, contract and expand, right? Because we're constantly putting labels and trying to identify with something, right? I am a healer. I identify crystals. I am a Reiki practitioner, but I am trans. I'm gay. I'm this, whatever. These are just labels when in truth we're actually infinite consciousness, which is what the soul is, eternal. And so, yeah, that's the first thing that comes present for me. But what am I here to do in this lifetime? It has become very present for me when I feel into my body and I do my breath work and I drop into meditation that I'm here to, among many really powerful leaders, to hold the torch, to lead people into conscious communities, to lead people back to putting their hands in the soil when they grow their fruit and vegetables, understanding that this new era is literally all about coming back to nature, which is the main thing that we lost touch with in these dark ages, and everything that was so artificial. And you walk into a room of 12-year-olds and there's 7 of them and they're actually texting each other while they're in the same room together.
mm,
Like that is how like disconnected we have become with actual like physical, real, soul to soul, eye to eye connection. And so the nature and growing our own food, raising our own livestock, um, I could go deep down that rabbit hole if it goes there down to. But yeah, my partner and I actually had a beautiful conversation because for me personally, on my own evolution, it doesn't resonate for me to eat animals or because right when you eat an animal, you are consuming the body of a soul.
Mm.
This is a low vibration. So my partner and I and some others just this weekend were talking about how, some of my dear friends who are very, very, very magical beings, what's going to happen to them essentially as they get more connected to the land, their property, the nature, and they start raising livestock and they're killing them, slaughtering them, they're going to start to form deep love and relationships with these animals. And as their DNA continues to be activated, they're going to be like, God, I actually have like deep, profound love for these beings. And I don't know why I'm killing them and eating them. And so this is just one example of many of the things that are going to change within us as we get more connected to nature and we put our feet on the soil every single day. And we realize that the sun doesn't give us cancer. It's actually a profound medicine, and just so many things that are going to, we can say, oh yeah, I've been told that. I've heard that. I know that. But do you emanate it? Do you know it? It's different. It's totally different when you emanate that frequency of what a teacher might tell you and then actually emanating it and being it.
Well, and thank you. That requires almost like an experiential understanding of it as opposed to a cerebral understanding of it. I remember the first medicine ceremony I ever did was in 2018 at Chavin de Huantar in Peru with the Wachuma, strongest Wachuma medicine on the planet, as far as I know. And I remember afterwards being like, all the platitudes, they make sense now. As above, so below, as within, so without. We are all one. Everything is connected. Like it, I have it on a visceral, experiential level, and I'm forever changed. My DNA has been altered. And that to me is sort of what you're speaking to, is like you have to like really know it in every cell of your being and emanate that and radiate that. As opposed to just having learned that and read that because I'm a spiritual seeker and read Eckhart Tolle in 2007. Like
Okay.
that's a very different thing than like, holy shit, I feel it.
Yeah, you know it. So right, like my DNA has changed so much over these last 2.5 years that if I was to consume pork or bacon, I would be on the toilet all day long because the
Wow.
density of that consciousness, my body can't handle it. It's it's like plugging into a radio station that's down here, and my radio station's here. They're completely missing each other. So I don't know why, but for some reason in Peru, my guides had me eat eggs. I haven't eaten eggs in like 3 years. Didn't go well.
Wow.
Um, and at the beginning of my journey, they had me eat eggs 3 months before that. Once again, I hadn't eaten eggs in 3.5 years or 3 years. In January, it was fine. In March, after some of the most powerful medicine journeys I've ever had with psilocybin, with Wachuma, um, immense amount of light codes and DNA activation streaming in from months of traveling to many, many ancient sites and receiving lots of activations of who I am on a galactic and cosmic level. They were showing me what's taken place in my body in literally a couple months' time and how much my body has crystallized and changed. So that is just even just planting a small seed of how much is happening to us every single day we wake up, and how much we are evolving and how much we're changing at literally lightning speed if we're talking about time in the grand scheme of the universe. The amount of growth that we've done in 2.5 years is literally like uh, a lightning train times 10. That's how like fast, that's how much we're being squeezed like a fine diamond.
So So, gosh, and when you were talking about like downloading all of these things about who you are, my immediate question want to be like, who are you, Andrew? Tell us what you know about your cosmic identity. So that's one question I have, and then if you can.
Yeah, goodness. Well, God, what can I share and what should I share? Well, I know that I think I've been in majority of the star systems in this galaxy, in Arcturus and Lyra, in the Pleiades. Um, I know that I am a high galactic ambassador for planet Earth and the multiverse. I think that's the first time I've ever shared that on any podcast or anything.
Thank you. I mean, thank you for sharing it, and also thank you for being.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, I started learning about the 144,000 and who those people are, who those souls are, and what that means. And that expression is not necessarily meant to be taken literally. Like there are only 144,000 star seeds that are here to shift. That's not actually the case at all. 144,000 are basically the most ancient souls that were literally called here that carried the codes within their DNA that are really going to shift this universe and this multiverse. And so those codes are lying not out there externally, like every spiritual teacher said, right? It's within. They are lying within us. Our DNA holds the secrets of the universe, and they hold the keys to who we are. And every single time we've ever been in a body. And that's not just this kind of body. That's a galactic body. That is an animal body. That is when we were incarnated as potentially a psilocybin mushroom, as all different kinds of things. So we are activating that intelligence of who we are now. And, you know, these concepts are kind of, in order to understand the 12 helixes of DNA, 24, 36 strands, which some of the indigo children have, like they already have like activated like 24 strands of DNA. Only I am beginning to scratch the surface in this last year or so to really just continue to piece together more and more. And there are many magical star beings incarnated on Earth that understand this far more than I do. But in order to be attracted to this consciousness, you have to have the consciousness of that DNA in you, or you will be like, whoa, what are they talking about? 12 strands of DNA. Like, our DNA is becoming active. What is that? Like, it's beyond, you know? You have to have that DNA present within you to even be attracted to that knowledge, to that information. So,
And that's more than 144,000 individual incarnate bodies on this planet,
yes,
that have
there's a
that
couple.
potential.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. That have that potential to be attracted to that and to
Yeah.
awaken that.
Of the ambassadors of the multiverse, you could say there are 144,000, and there's actually slightly more. From what I know, they actually added a couple hundred or a couple thousand onto the 144,000 for backup, if you will, because taking down a however long 5 million year death cult controlling Mother Gaia was no small task.
I just, maybe it's like a ego talking, but I really hope I'm at least on backup. I want to be a part of it, man.
Yeah. Well, here's the truth, Sarah. Okay. And I said this in a post very recently, it's not just the 144,000 and a couple more are carrying the codes within their DNA, but there's about 250 million star seeds incarnated on planet Earth right now. And that is a number, that's what my guru's mother shared with me when I was in South India. And
how many did you say? 250 million?
Roughly about 250 million to 300 million, she said. And obviously someone can feel into that and just, I don't say that is the truth. I invite you to feel into whether or not that resonates with you. And if it does, amazing. And if it doesn't, that's totally fine too. That is what she shared with me, and to me it just felt deeply resonant. So I was like, yes,
Well,
okay.
in India is a great holder of information of the ancient wisdom. So your guru's mom, I'm inclined to think about believing, you know.
Yeah. I mean,
It's like the holy
wow.
rishis. Like there's some serious lineage in India.
You want to talk about a magical human. Oh my God. She left her physical body this year. I believe it was in April at 101. And she was one of India's first female doctors in the 1940s and 50s. And she was India's very first female researcher. I don't even think you can like begin to, people who are listening to this can begin to understand of what that means. Women like barely started working in India in like 1995. Women did not work. And if you were to be a doctor, the men were like, who is this woman coming in here thinking that she can be a doctor amongst all these men? Like, talk about a skewed feminine and masculine dynamic in India. And even
Yeah,
if you go there today, it's so distorted and
she
the
must have an
masculine and feminine.
extremely powerful presence.
Beyond
Yeah.
beyond words. And I was at 99 years old when I was in India in December 2019, leading up to days before the lockdowns in March 2020. I was able to sit down and have 3 conversations with her. Prime ministers from Spain, from Holland, from UK, from Germany, from Canada were flying all over the world to meet this woman, Dr. Amla Chowdhury, who I've known in very many past lives, and we are deeply soul connected.
Mm.
And oh my God, she is like just being with her those 3 times and the conversations we had. I don't know if I ever felt that much love before. And she is just one very, very, very special angelic soul who left in April, but now she's doing her work in the ether, in the cosmos. So will she return back to Earth? I don't know. I hope so, but we will see. But yeah, she shared that information with me. That yeah, it wasn't just the 144,000, but all star seeds. Right? And everyone who's working for the light is playing a role in this ascension process. And obviously, right, no matter what consciousness and no matter what bliss and beauty we will reach in this lifetime, which will be blissful beyond the imagination, we will always have leaders, and it'll be like a tier. There will always be that structure of
Hierarchy. There's always
yeah,
going to be
yeah,
hierarchy of some
yeah,
kind.
yeah, but it'll be embodied and it'll be
Mm.
love and it'll be grounded, not like it is today, where you have corporations that are making a net of $270 billion a year and do not donate a cent of it. And not only are they not donating a cent of it and making $270 billion a year, they're also destroying the planet
Mm.
with the vibration that their corporation operates at.
So somehow knowing all of that and knowing that we've been, have thousands, millions of years of some sort of, I don't know what we want to call it, some kind of like dark control, right? Like with all of that, you still carry a super strong optimism, it sounds like, and even like deep truth, like understanding and knowledge that everything is moving in a ascension direction, and I think you just said in our lifetime it's going to be blissful. Can you speak a little bit more to sort of like this is sort of the topic of the podcast that I always like to get to, is like, what does this new paradigm and this new earth look like, and how are we embodying it now? And yeah, what can we expect to see in our lifetime should we really begin to embody this more?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, that question is just so deep. Um, one of the things that I came here is this just in the last 2.5 years, I've had this just unshakable warrior consciousness activated within me. And one of the things that is most present within me these last 2.5 years is the unshakable knowing that the existence that we are moving into in this lifetime is going to be is going to be beautiful and special beyond anything that we could even have a dream of, daydream of, anything. Um, we are truly coming into an existence that is completely uncharted territory and unfamiliar to us, and the love and the unity and the co-creation and the willingness to want to help out our brothers and sisters. I mean, it's all going to be about, like I said before at the beginning of the conversation, returning back to the land and just working in harmony with each other. And life is going to be one giant celebration, huge festival. It's going to be so much less. There's not going to be stress or anxiety or anger. Of course, working in communities, we're going to have challenging things come up, and we're going to have those challenging conversations. For example, maybe when someone's not doing something that we favor or something that we like or something that's maybe in total resonance, but it's going to come from all those conversations that are challenging are going to come from a place of love and being completely grounded. Two masculine brothers literally sitting in front of each other eye to eye and just having a completely grounded, loving conversation about something that they're doing that maybe is just not working for the community or whatever that may be. But our existence is going to be incredibly multidimensional beyond our wildest imagination. It's going to be galactic because we are galactic. We are just disguised in this human meat suit, but within our DNA, we are cosmic, we are galactic, we are activating all the abilities, remote viewing, psychic abilities, telepathy, levitation, just everything. And each soul will carry within their genetic blueprint certain gifts that are more fine-tuned than others, depending on what is in their DNA genetic blueprint, which is the universe.
So I resonate with all of that. I love it. And I just know that there's the I don't know if skeptic's the right word, but the person who always the part of me that always questions everything. The part of me that's always like, but how? There's 8 billion people on the planet, and it's only millions that are really waking up to their own divinity and waking up to this upgraded DNA that we have. How do we have, and this is my whole purpose and my reason for living, so it's not like I'm asking this question from a place of like total bewilderment, but I just want to hear from you, how do we have the impact that we need to have on 8 billion people on this planet that are still very much under some kind of hypnosis?
Right. It's a great question, and a question probably so many people are like, yes, how? Because everyone is here to do different work. Everyone has different knowing within them. And for me, what I've come to realize is that one powerful light leader that is ancient of billions or hundreds of billions of years of wisdom carries the power of love within them that matches 500,000 or 1,000,000 people living in anger, separation, and fear. So one person, one soul walking this earth, when she walks into a village, and this is what Guruji's mother shared with me. She said, Guruji shared this with me. Guruji shared that when a yogi walks into a small city in India and he has reached a state of complete unconditional love and oneness with the source, enlightenment, he changes the vibration of that city just by him being in that city, because the vibration that carries him again matches a huge number of people, stadiums full of people, one person who carries that blueprint of unconditional love within his body that's pulsating throughout the planet, the waters, the forests, the trees, the animals, and the universe and the multiverse at large. So there's hundreds of millions of ancient souls that have come here specifically for this mission on Earth. And our numbers are small compared to the other, I don't know, I'd like to guess 85% that are not awakened in their soul and their spirit. But our power is far unmatched than the 85%, because it's all frequency, it's all vibration, right? We are literally just a walking light orb of vibration. So, let's talk about, right, if we gather 1,000 of us in one physical setting and we are to do a tribal breathwork and meditation together, I don't even think people can even begin to fathom what power that harnesses.
So many things right now. One is, what if we gathered those thousands of people in these ancient temple sites? I know Matthias de Stefano played with that. I think it was last year or earlier this year in Egypt, and he's done that in Argentina as well. But like, I think about these ancient temple sites that are sort of like portals, right? And gathering all of these people into those like portal spaces. I wonder the impact of that as well. Yeah. And then it also makes me think of like, wow, we really, those of us that even have like a smidge, say we just have a smidge of awakening. When I hear that, it's like, wow, it's a real call to action, a real duty, for those of us that have even the tiniest bit of awakening within us, to expand that as much as possible, to take on the practices that we need to take on in order to truly radiate as much as possible every time we walk into a stadium setting, every time we walk into a new town, every time we go anywhere. And then that leads me to another question, which is, you mentioned 1,000 people in a physical location, but what about this technology we've got, right? We've got a podcast here, so you're able to radiate, to all of my listeners right now in a non-physical setting. And I'm able to radiate, with my podcast or with, or social media posting or something like this. You have a much bigger reach than I do actually on Instagram. But like, we have opportunities in the digital space as well. What kind of impact does that have?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. It has. I can do a session with someone, or someone who does some kind of beautiful galactic light language or channeling, can transmit that frequency, right, that vibration from here to New Zealand, easy. Obviously, I don't think it can replicate the act of literally. So, right, if we were to close our eyes and imagine 1,111 ancient souls, these galactic light warriors in a massive circle together, literally sitting on Maui, surrounding a huge fire, all moving together, breathing. Between each heart of these ancient beings, there is a rainbow bridge of light connecting to all these hearts. So you cannot replicate the act of being in a physical space that will allow that frequency to literally reverberate through the universe and through the multiverse. And if we were to have those 1,111 souls all on a Zoom call, one cannot argue that that would also be extremely powerful. But yeah, you cannot beat the frequency that it would have of the hearts literally connecting in that intimate space, and everyone's auras actually interweaving with each other from person to person that we're sitting next to each other. But yeah, absolutely. A mass meditation through Zoom or on Instagram of 500 or 5,000, incredibly powerful. We are at a stage in our evolution where, in truth, protesting and picketing is feeding into the old Earth program of having to fight an old system that clearly doesn't work for humanity being one, peaceful, loving, and whole. So, right, standing out and going, whatever the sign says, and picketing for something, right? You're literally saying, I'm fighting for this system to change. Don't fight for that system to change. Let's create a new one. That's how we get it. That's how we get around it. That's what we're here to do. We're here to channel all of our creative energy, because that's what we are. We are divine creators. We're here to create what we want to see in the world. That is what we're actually here to do. Not now, does that have power? Is that playing a role? Sure, but it's not carrying the high vibration that 1,000 people coming together and literally putting all their hearts combined together and literally envisioning, what the ground would look like in the golden age, what the trees would move like, what the water would feel like when you put your hand in it, like literally going to that place. And that is right. That is manifestation. We're manifesting the world that we want to live in. So yeah, regardless of it's physical or virtual, holds an incredible power.
Can you share with me sort of some of the work that you do, and your work with how you help to activate people in this way, or how you help people to develop some of the practices, or how people can do that in general, how they can activate themselves, how they can really leverage whatever sliver of awakening that we have, to expand it and really have the impact that we can have on the world, on the billions of people on the planet, and all these little small towns and stadiums that we attend.
Yeah. Well, I think the main thing that I've realized that after hundreds of people coming to my partner, Michelle, and I think the main thing of what I've realized that like, whoa, what we do is really special is the ability to hold a space that is profoundly, profoundly nurturing and loving and safe. That is what I've realized we are true masters at. And I say that from a pure place of just knowing, not ego. I'm just owning what we do and what we are. We are incredibly masterful holding a space for someone who is scared shitless of their shadow to feel comfortable to go into the deepest, darkest shadows and parts of themselves with Michelle's goddess circles, with my breath work, with psilocybin and with combo right now. And we love, and I just love providing that for people. It just it's a miraculous thing to see someone literally on whatever September 10th and then you see them on September 20th after they've sat in 2 ceremonies with you, and I'm just like, you are literally not even the same person that walked through our door just 10 days ago. And they're like, I know. Even my kids feel it. Even my husband's talking about it. My sister saw me, like, she can't believe it. How much just lighter I am, How can people feel that, right? It's simple. It's an exchange of energy. People feel us all the time, even if they're not intuitive or empathic, right? When we do healing work, if we have a daughter who's 5 years old, she feels everything. She feels you. So, right, you're passing on that new embodiment, that new love of this new you that's now showing up in your family and your household. Like what an incredible gift that you could give to your daughter and to your family and to the planet and to the universe. So I think really the main 2 things that are present for me in the months of July and August are just show up. These 2 words, show up. When the calling arises and you're like, oh God, I don't know. I got all this work to do. When the calling arises, if it's being presented to you and you truly feel called to be there, show up. And only if it's really resonant, you're not showing up to a plant medicine ceremony because your friend Sarah is like, hey, come to this plant ceremony. I really want you to be there. Do you feel called to be there? Not because your friend wants you to be there. Are you feeling the call to be there? So it's also not just showing up to something that we're not being called to, but also using our own discernment and our own breathing into the expansiveness or the contracting of whether our body's contracting, going, no, you need to put your energy elsewhere, or the expansion of like, yes, I'm definitely supposed to show up to this event, this sound healing event, this plant medicine, this breath work, this quantum hypnosis, whatever healing modality you're being drawn to. And also knowing that, right, we shift timelines by being in the now moment. All possibilities in the universe lie by taking time throughout the day to feel the movement of my fingertips, to feel the aliveness of my toes moving, to look at a flower and go, wow, that thing is unbelievably gorgeous. Those simple things of literally just being present with what is in front of you, right? With your partner, with the work that you're doing, with your children, whatever you're doing, just being fully there. And right, one of the things that takes us out of that, right, is this. You know, the phone takes us out. It takes me out of it. I'm guilty of that. It takes us out of being fully where we are. And at the same time, it's like, but we need to use that for our business. We need to use that to post. So it's a really interesting time navigating the technologies that we have while being present, while connecting to nature, while being like, wow, tomorrow I really have to crush out a good like 8, 9, 10 hours of doing work on the computer. For me personally, I really don't like technology. I love nature. Sending out emails gives me severe anxiety. I can't do it. That's why I have people do it for me, because I recognize that's really what I'm not here to do. And it took me a long time to get there and accept myself of who I am in that. But being fully present with who we are, knowing our greatest attributes and the things that I'm just not going to be good at that. And that's really okay. I'm okay with that, you know, and just being fully present and just showing up and being resilient. That's another big word, resilience. Why is resilience such a big word right now? Because we're about to experience shifts beyond, as the financial system collapses, the housing markets, all these systems go. We wake up in a world where, holy shit, there are no more Walmarts. There are no Targets. There are no Ralphs. There are no Whole Foods. There are no Trader Joe's. They don't exist anymore. And we will come to that time where they won't be here on Earth anymore. So where will we get our food? We'll get our food and our water from each other. That's what we will be doing. So we sit back and we close our eyes and we think into that. You go, wow, we really will need each other. we will need to come together in community, in a way that's really hard to even grasp, because as everything in resonance falls apart, right? That's where we're just going to continue to just link more and more. Sources are going to continue to put more and more of the beautiful leaders and light beings in contact in some magical way at gatherings, at festivals. And so on that note, I also invite you to take every opportunity to go to festivals, to gatherings that are of a high vibration, right? Where people are not consuming alcohol, where people are literally coming together to visualize and create this new existence. Every time we take this opportunity to gather in community, that's a high vibration where the intention is to create this new way of being. It's everything. So important.
Thank you so much for all of that. I mean, I feel like that was just, I felt like I had just even myself, like so many beautiful downloads as you were talking. And so I imagine that the listeners really were feeling that too. So thank you so much for all of that. And I really, really love everything that you had to say. And shifting timelines by being in the now moment. Like, what does that look like to you in terms of like, what does it mean to shift timelines right now? Because this is sort of like a buzz topic that people talk about, like along with starseeds and all that stuff. We don't have time to dive into all of the things, although I could for hours with you. But when we talk about shifting timelines by being in the now moment, what does that mean? How can we really leverage that?
So I'm incredibly passionate about the breath, right? The breath is beyond powerful at showing us who we are, activating our DNA, tapping into the central nervous system, which is your key to health and longevity, as well as when we inhale and we exhale. Something galactic, something cosmic is happening. You are breathing in the universal wisdom of the trees, of the animals, of the ascended masters that walked before us. The breath is the gateway to all realms of higher consciousness. So if we're not using that to heal, right, when we go into a deep, for example, one of my dimensional breathwork journeys and showing people their multidimensionality, and throughout the day, just literally just stopping while we're sitting in front of our laptop and just literally just putting our hands on our heart and our belly and just saying inside, I'm alive. Like I'm alive. I'm truly alive. When other people are disconnecting and afraid to make eye contact, like I'm alive in all capital letters. And just acknowledging that, being aware of that, being aware of your breath, and being aware that you are alive is dropping into now, is dropping into what is presently now. And the breath helps us do that, helps us come into whatever we're doing in our life. So, right, as I said before, all possibilities in the universe lie in the now moment. So the more people use their breath to just get present and just breathe into the aliveness of their body and that gratitude of just like, God, I don't even like the emotions I'm feeling right now, but I'm welcoming them. I'm welcoming this irritability that I'm feeling today, or this heaviness, and just feeling into this gratitude to feel these emotions. Totally flipping the switch and 180ing, being like, oh my God, I hate this day. I feel so heavy. Being like, oh, thank you, body, to feel this anger, to feel this anxiety. Right? I'm totally changing the story of how I perceive these emotions and how I get into the now moment. We can't, right? We can't only love life when we feel blissful. And I'm not saying that's easy, right? I'm not saying that's easy. It's not. It's challenging to find that place of incredible gratitude and bliss when have a day where we feel super anxious. Maybe we don't feel worthy. Maybe we feel lots of lack. Maybe we're like, God, who am I to hold space for people? There's other people that will hold more powerful space than me.
Yeah, but thank you for this moment to help me have compassion and empathy for people around me when they're going through this, you know? And that makes total sense, though. If you really can tap into that space of gratitude and breath awareness and aliveness and embodiment, you're literally changing timelines because of the vibration that you carry and what you then will attract and the impact that you're going to then have. So that has an infinite ripple effect, and there's infinite opportunity for that in every single moment.
Yeah, that's correct.
Amazing.
Yeah.
How
All
can
the time it's
people,
available to us.
yeah, I mean, what a gift.
Yeah.
It's just a choice. So how can people find you? I know I found you on Instagram, love your account so much. How can people, we'll have the, links to your social media in the notes, but how can people find you? What have you got coming up? I don't know, when this exactly will air, but just tell us a bit about how we can work with you, find you, see you in the realms.
Yeah, you can find me on andrewgenoveshealing.com. Of all the social media platforms, I'm most active on Instagram. Breathe, heal, evolve. No dots, no spaces, just breathe, heal, evolve. I think I have set the record for most fake accounts on Instagram. So
I noticed that.
literally, why? Because the dark is attracted to the light. And people trust me and they trust my word and they know how authentic I am. So they've taken advantage of me and sending that message out to people. So when you receive a fake message, it's a scam or a bot. It's not me. So Breathe, Heal, Evolve is how you can connect with me. That's my account. I'm also on Facebook, just Andrew Genovese. And yeah, I have a course coming out all about the emotions and diving into those emotions with breath. It's going to be really, really special. I haven't done one of these in over a year. So a lot of people were asking for it. And so here it is. It commences September 12th, and it's called the Emotion Codes. And really looking forward to being with everyone in this beautiful container as we just, yeah, learn to play with our emotions and dive into our emotions. And not just that, but really be held, witnessed, seen by our brothers and sisters in the container. So yeah, really excited for that one. And then in January, I have my dimensional breathwork facilitation container of teaching people how to do what I do. There will not be another breathwork facilitation container like this. And I'm just really excited to share a part of my soul and my DNA with everyone. Really, it'll be the first time I'm doing something like this. And I don't know how many times I'll do it. It might only be just once, as I'm shifting just every single week on what I'm being guided to do and the messages I'm being guided to give out to humanity. So yeah, whoever's being called, really looking forward to having everyone in that container.
That January one, is there an in-person component to it, or is it
Uh,
all online?
I was going to do it in person, and then a lot of people were asking for virtual, so I changed it to virtual.
Okay, cool. Is there, I know you talked about like the power of everybody being in physical proximity. Do you have anything coming up or have anything on in vision for the next couple of years of an in-person event that you would hold?
Yes, so my partner and I have just moved to Washington State in the forest to activate these super sacred
Congrats.
lands.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll be holding lots of ceremonies in September, October, November, December in Washington State. I'm also going to be, it's not 100%, but I'm going to be facilitating, are you ready? In Maui in January.
Yay, this is what I was hoping for. I'll see you
Yeah,
there.
I'm going
Well,
to be,
depending on when it is, I might be in Costa Rica in January. Oh,
yeah, well, if you're there, you're there. If
yeah.
not,
Oh my
for
gosh.
everyone who lives in Hawaii, I'll be coming to Hawaii for the first time
Amazing.
to facilitate medicine and breath and a bunch of other magical things with my partner and I. And let's see. Yeah, we might be coming to Sedona in either November or December. We haven't figured out when yet or dialed it in. But yeah, we'll be announcing a lot of events in September and like first 2 weeks of October. So
Brilliant. Well, y'all stay tuned on Instagram because there's so much coming from you, so much that you're emanating and radiating. And I'm just so grateful for your presence. Thank you for being on the podcast today. Thank you for being in the world and just radiating your lovely light. And yeah, thank you. I'm
yeah,
really
my
grateful.
pleasure, sister.
And thank you all for listening. This was just a beautiful episode. I'm really touched. I feel like set the tone for my day. It's morning here in Maui and it really set the tone for my day. So um, I hope it did for y'all as well, and sending you tons of love. See you next time.